Rambam. We're at the very beginning in the first book. You say the Torah, the laws of the foundation of the Torah. We're chapter 4. Yesterday we started first day. Well, first day in a chapter. So chapter 4, these four bodies, fire, wind, water, and earth that were discussed yesterday, are fundamental elements of all of the creations below the sky. Everything that exists, be it man, beast, fowl, crawling creatures, fish, plant, metal, precious stone, pearl, building stone, mountain, or a lump of earth, the body of these entities is a combination of these four fundamental elements. Thus, all the bodies which are found below the sky, with the exception of these four bodies, are the combination of matter and form. And their matter is a combination of these fundamental elements. These fundamental elements, however, are a combination of a matter and form which they exist in the Helian state alone. Okay, the tendency of fire. Tendency of fire. Second. That baby can let in. Tendency of fire and wind is to ascend upwards from the depths of the earth toward the sky. The tendency of water and earth is to descend from the sky to the midpoint of the sky, the center of the earth. From the midpoint of the sky is the lowest point, below which nothing is lower.
Midpoint to the sky, nothing is lower.
Since the heavens are spherical, any past the midpoint of the earth can be considered to be the higher when approaching from the opposite side. Okay. These tendencies are not conscious matter, nor are they willful. Rather, it is a pattern implanted within them and a nature they were given. The natural characteristics of fire are that it is warm and dry. It is the lightest of all the fundamental elements. Wind is warm and moist. Water is cold and moist. And earth is dry and cold. It is the heaviest of all the fundamental elements. Water is lighter than earth. Therefore, it is found above it. Okay. Wind is lighter than water. Therefore, it hovers above it. Fire is even lighter than wind. Since these are fundamental elements for all of the bodies below the sky, the matter of every single body, man, animal, beast, fowl, fish, plant, metal, and stone, is a combination of fire, wind, water, and earth. I don't know why, it sounds like he repeated that. He said that already. Okay. In the process of the combination of these four, each of them changes while they are being combined. This combination of the four fundamental elements does not resemble any one of the elements as it exists alone. Everything in any combination of them, there cannot be found even one portion of fire as it exists alone. Wind as it exists alone, water that exists alone, nor earth that exists alone. Rather, they have all changed and become a single body. Each and every body, which is a combination of these four fundamental elements, will have a combination of cold, warmth, moistness, and dryness. They are the same. Some bodies, there are some bodies that have more powerful concentration of the fundamental element of fire. For example, creatures with living souls. Accordingly, they have a higher temperature. Conversely, there are some bodies that are more powerful concentration of the element of earth. For example, the stones. Accordingly, they are very dry. Similarly, Some of them have bodies with greater concentration of element of water. Accordingly, they are moist. In this manner, one may find one body which is warmer than another body, which is itself warm, and one body drier than another body, which is itself dry. Similarly, there are bodies in which cold alone is noticeable, and other bodies which moistness alone is noticeable. In some bodies, cold and dryness are equally noticeable. In others, cold and moistness are equally noticeable. In others, warm and dryness are equally noticeable. In others, warmth and moistness are equally noticeable. Accordingly, the predominance of the element that is found is the essential combination, the inclination of the nature of which the element will be expressed in the body, resulting in the mixture of these elements. Yeah, okay. Every entity, which is a combination of these four fundamental elements, will ultimately decompose into these elements. Some will decompose after a few days, and others will decompose after many years. However, it's impossible for everything which is a combination of these elements not to decompose into them. It is impossible even for gold or ruby not to decompose and return to their fundamental elements, a portion becoming a fire, a portion water, and a portion wind, and a portion earth. Right? So since they're made up of all four, so it has to decompose, into the partial in what its partiality is. Number 4. Since every entity will decompose and separate into these four elements, why was Adam told, "You will return to dust," implying the man will return to dust alone? Because the major part of man's composition is from dust.
That's the major, but there's still fire, water.
Right, exactly.
That's the major on this.
Yeah.
That we're aware of.
That's interesting. Every entity that decomposes will not return to the four fundamental elements immediately. Rather, it will decompose and change into another entity. That entity will in turn change into another entity until ultimately return to the elements. Thus, all entities are constantly returning to the elemental cycle state in a cycle. Okay, I have to stop over here. Yeah, this was called. This was called. Nice and Bereshis, understanding creation. Understanding creation.